Hello student, in the previous class we have already discussed about the living world, and we see that the living world can be divided into 5 kingdoms, in which plant kingdom is one of them. And if we discuss about a plant, then we can divide a plant into several parts, in which root, shoot, leaf and flower are very important. Now today we are going to discuss about the structure of a flower, and in this video I am going to showing you the detailed structure of a flower along with their arrangement, and depending upon the structure of the flower, how can we categorize the flowers and all those things. So let's start with the structure of a flower. So here it's a cross section of a flower. Now all of you know that flower has 4 holes. So the first one is the calyx, and the unit of the calyx is actually the sepal. So here the greeny part which provide the protection of the bud is actually the sepal, and many sepals form the calyx. So the next part is the corolla. Now it's very colorful in most of the flowers, and the unit of it is known as the petal. So here these yellowish colors are the petals, and it's important for attracting the pollinators, and it's help in the reproduction of the plants. Okay, now the next one, the male part of the flower is known as the androecium, and its unit is the stamen. So here this is the stamen, and each stamen has 2 parts. The first one is the anther. Now see, it's the anther in which the pollen grains are produced and stored, and the next one is the filament. Okay, now here it's actually connect the anther to the flower base. Now the next one is the gynoecium. Now it's the female part, and its unit is the pistil, and each pistil has 3 parts: stigma, style and ovary. So the first one, this is the stigma, and this is the style, and at the base the bulky region is the ovary, and inside the ovary there are many ovules. Okay, So these are the holes of the flower. So in the next slide, we just see the structure in some original flower pictures. So see, now it's very common, it's China rose or hibiscus, and here this greenish color, this portion is actually the sepal. Now the next one, now the red color portions are the petal, and next this portion. Now if this portion, we see this portion in a larger view, then we can see that the anther, the yellowish color structure, and the filament, very tiny structure that connect the anther to this elongated structure. Now it's the filament, and this anther or filament, this portion is known as the androecium, or the male part of the flower. Now the next one, female part. So first one, this is the stigma, this is the style, and this is the ovary. So this is all about the structure or the holes of the flower. Okay. Now the next, if we categorize the flower, then we can find that unisexual and bisexual flower. Now see, if both the stamen and the pistil, in the first case, both the stamen bluish and the pistil pinkish in color are present in a common flower, then it is known as the bisexual flower, because both the male and the female part is present. Okay. Now the next one, if anyone, if only stamen or only pistil is present, it's known as the unisexual flower. Now if the stamen is present, it's known as the staminated flower, and if only pistil is present, now it is known as pistillate flower. Okay. Now the next one, if these flowers are present, both the male and the female flowers are present in a common plant, it's known as the hermaphrodite plants. Okay. Now if only one, in a branch it's the male one, and in another branch it's only the female one, so it's known as the monoecious plant. And that means in the monoecious plant, both the male flower and the female flower is present. And how can we differentiate from the plant having the hermaphrodite or bisexual flower? Because in the first case, the flowers are bisexual, means in a same flower, both the male and the female part is present. Now in the monoecious flower, flowers are unisexual, but they are present in a common plant. Okay, now it's the monoecious plant. And the next one is the dioecious plant. Now here, the male plant and the female plant is totally separate. So it's known as dioecious plant. So now we're just going to see the examples of these flowers and the plants. So here the first one, the hibiscus, bisexual. Next one, the papaya flower, it's unisexual. We can get in male and also female. Okay. and monoecious plant is the core, because at the apex of the flower these are the male flower, and at the basal part of the plant it's the female. So in a common plant we get the male flower as well as the female flower. So it's a monoecious plant. And the date plum is actually the dioecious. Here the male plant and the female plant are different. So these are the examples of unisexual, bisexual flower as well as the monoecious and dioecious plant. So this is all about today's topic. Thank you.